Hello, thank you for joining us for this month's demonstration video for Smile, Create, Repeat. My name is Tony Luongo and I'll be taking you through this drawing using supplies from the July 2017 surprise. Alright, let's get started. We're going to break this video up, this demonstration, into two parts. The first part is going to be my pencil drawing because I just want to show you my thought process and what I'm doing with it. And then the second part will be using the pastels to color it in. I don't want to call it coloring it in, to paint it, to finish the painting, the drawing. Alright, this I just started, just making a little frame around it to frame the picture. That was pretty clever. And as you can see, the watermelon in the upper left corner is what I'm going to be drawing. Alright, so let's see how I'm going to do this. So I'm going to do it... So I think that's pretty close. Done that. It's right there. And this takes time, so take your time doing this. Don't do it as quickly as I am. If you haven't been doing this a lot, not that I could still use practice too, but I've been doing this for a while, so I can maybe do this a little quicker. I couldn't always do it this quickly. So this is not a race. Take the time, and if you need to pause it, the video, go right ahead, of course. Until you're at the point. So, but yeah, when I started out with figuring out where I wanted to place the watermelon slice, and now I'm just drawing what I see, and there's very little green on there. I'm just drawing, and that's all dark, and then there's a light. So this edge isn't that sharp because there's the texture of the watermelon, but I'm leaving it that way. And I'm going to draw in, and I have my kneaded eraser. Did not come with this surprise, but if you have one. And a kneaded eraser is just the stretchy eraser you can shape into whatever you need, so you can make a nice sharp edge. Clean that up. We gave you that in a different surprise. Now I'm looking for, see if there's any seeds in there. There's one. And I have the light on the setup, and I also have these lights for the video, so it's kind of hard to see. And those look like a little face now. Someone's wearing a big watermelon hat. And then the red, and those should actually be higher because the red and white kinda end about here. Well, big smile face, look at that. Smile, create, baby. Yeah, I just said that. Alright, and that, similar, something like that. And there's no seeds on this side, but I'm going to put one up there. And is there a way to, let's see, there's some shadow, the background shadow goes right there. That might be interesting, so I'm going to draw that in, because that being dark against this bright side might really make that dramatic. Alright, so what I'm going to do, oh, that's it really? So I'm not going to make this into two videos. I was expecting this to be a little more. See if I can. Alright. So that's where I'm at. So now we have a I'll try to do this so you can see it. The Pan Pastel and the applicator, and then we have a pastel pencil. My light blue, or I think it's actually green, but this is very light. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that for the lights and the yellow for the shadows. So in order to do that, I'm actually going to go back in with my pencil and just, actually it's pretty easy, I don't need to. Everything is dark. All of this, this, and this. So I'm just going to go in and do the light first. So all you do is you get that on there, get the pastels on there, and now I'm just painting in. The neat thing about this applicator is you have the sharp edges. Some of you got a different one, but they both have sharp edges because that was the point. No. I wanted you to have an edge. So you can really cut in nice to what you're doing. And then this edge here, where I drew this line from the light to shadow, as you can see, it's softer, so I'm not drawing the edge that sharp. And loading it up again. And you probably saw the dust forming on my drawing. I blew it off. Be careful doing that, because you don't want to breathe this in, and if you're around someone else, you don't want to blow it into their face. And this is light. And then bringing it to the edge. Okay. And then I'm going to go in, and there's a light edge. It's called rim light. Rim light, just the edge. The other side of the watermelon slice is getting some light. So that's that. And some of this is a little translucent. So some of the light is shining through the water and the watermelon. Okay. And then that comes there. Look at that, dramatic. Alright, so what I'm going to do... Oh, that's it, really? So I'm not going to make this into 2 videos. I was expecting this to be a little more. See if I can... Alright. So that's where I'm at. So now we have... I'll try to do this so you can see it. The Pan Pastel and the applicator, and then we have a pastel pencil. My light blue, or I think it's actually green, but this is very light. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that for the lights and the yellow for the shadows. So in order to do that, I'm actually going to go back in with my pencil and just, actually it's pretty easy, I don't need to. Everything is dark. All of this, this, and this. So I'm just going to go in and do the light first. So all you do is you get that on there, get the pastels on there, and now I'm just painting in. The neat thing about this applicator is you have the sharp edges. Some of you got a different one, but they both have sharp edges because that was the point. No. I wanted you to have an edge. So you can really cut in nice to what you're doing. And then this edge here, where I drew this line from the light to shadow, as you can see, it's softer, so I'm not drawing the edge that sharp. And loading it up again. And you probably saw the dust forming on my drawing. I blew it off. Be careful doing that, because you don't want to breathe this in, and if you're around someone else, you don't want to blow it into their face. And this is light. And then bringing it to the edge. Okay. And then I'm going to go in, and there's a light edge. It's called rim light. Rim light, just the edge. The other side of the watermelon slice is getting some light. So that's that. Pastel. Pencil. And as you can see, this one is much darker. And I'm just going to go in and really go to town with it, because I just want a lot of coverage. I just want to get some pastel, some pigment onto the paper. And then I'm going to use the tortillon to smudge that in. There we go. And we're going to use this to blend it in. And what that does is obviously, well, not obviously, but you can really get the pigment into the texture of the paper if you want to. Or if you have two colors on there, you can blend them together. And if you look how I made the shadow, the dark side of the watermelon slice just blend right in to the cast shadow. Alright, just gonna knock that pastel dust off into the garbage. Okay, so there's that. Now I'm going to just keep adding more. So now the darkest part is the red part of the watermelon. So I'm going in, and I can still see my lines faintly. So I'm going in, making that darker. Oh, I didn't do the dark behind the watermelon. And this transition from the red to the white of the watermelon slice is soft, so I'm making little circles. That's a little trick you can do when you're doing this, and with less pressure, and that can help you make softer edges. And I'm gonna go sharpen my pencil in just a minute. Alright. Yeah, let's see if it works in there. Alright, so I sharpened my pencil, and I did just sharpen it in my electric pencil sharpener, and it came out to a nice point, and that'll help you get a little finer, of course better detail, and you can also really get into the texture of the paper now. So the point really can help that, and I'm going to sharpen this edge because I want that edge sharp. Good thing I explained that. Okay, and then here, right close to the object is where the shadow is the darkest, because over here it'll be a little lighter because some of the reflected light from the surface is getting on there. And it gets lighter as you get away because more of the light in the room is reflecting back onto into the shadow. It's still going to be pretty dark, but just not as dark as right there next to the object. And I'm going to go in and add the shadow back here because I think that'll help make it pop out. And I should have used a sharp edge here. Sharp point, I mean. And again, take your time doing this. And I'm going a little softer here because I want those to blend a little bit because that's a little softer edge. Here too. Okay. Oh, which line did I go to? This one. Alright. Now let's see if how this blends. Yep. That's real soft. I'm going to get more of the blue pastel or green. And we can really soften that transition, and that's really the beauty of this tool, is it can really create those soft transitions. And now I'm very lightly brushing it over that because you can see between this, the middle value, and this dark value, there's a hard edge, a sharp line, and I'm trying to soften that up. So there we go, and now we have that other color that maybe I can mix some of that in with this lighter. I'd say I did that to just pick up some of the pigment there, and now I have another color for the red on the light side. It's very subtle. Soften that edge. And then let's soften this up a little bit too, to see if we can make it just look more watermelon-y, because the colors are not, you don't want to eat this watermelon. Alright, so just going now in and just really finishing up how you want it to look. So you want the pastels to be smooth and into the texture of the paper. You go in and fine tune that, sharpen up some edges. I'm going to go in underneath the watermelon slice. Just try to get that a little darker. You can use your finger too. That might help push it in to the texture and really smooth it out. You of course want to wash your fingers after you're done this. Well, you probably want to do it before too, to not get too much oil from your fingers on there. That's why you use the tortillon. And I'm going to go back in. Last thing, actually two things. My hand smudged some of the blue off of the side here when I was drawing. So I'm going to go in and add that back in. And then I'm going to go in and use my pencil and just really define the drawing just a little more, just because I like the look of it. If you want to keep it just a pastel drawing, then by all means don't do this. But I think the mixing of the colors, the pastels mixing, the graphite, I think it'll all look nice. So that's really about it. I hope you enjoyed this demo. Please share what you've created if you followed along or did your own thing. If you'd like to learn more about Smile, Create, Repeat, or receive your own surprise, which is our monthly subscription, you can check us out at smilecreaterepeat.com. There's frequently asked questions on there that you can look through. You can find out the pricing. We give discounts for 12-month and a year. It's US only right now. 12-month and a year. 6-month and a year. And you can of course email us, and we respond to those as soon as we get them, more or less. If you'd like to learn more about Smile, Create, Repeat, or receive your own surprise, check us out at smilecreaterepeat.com. So until next time, be sure to smile, create, repeat. Thank you and have a great month.